So I was told recently that because I am 35 with 2 children, my time clock is running out and I probably would never get married. So I do want to hear some opinions from some men. Do you really believe that is true? If a woman is over 30 or over 35, that her time clock is done, she will not be getting married anytime soon. Maybe will never get married because she looks or she seems washed up from men that are looking for wives. So I just want to hear some opinion. Is my time clock over? Like, is it over for me? I know what I believe, but I just want to hear some opinions and get some perspectives and point of views from different people that have either heard that or believe that. You know, let me know what you think. Let me know how you're thinking and how you feel about the situation. I just want to know.
It's always the same pattern. For years, men have been told exactly what they're expected to bring to the table, yet hardly anyone stops to ask what men actually value in a partner. A 35-year-old single mother isn't worthless, but for a man who has spent years building his life and creating stability, her position as a potential wife may not carry the same appeal it once did. The frustrating part is that she likely already understands this, but instead of facing that reality, she'd rather search online for validation and false hope than take an honest look at the situation.
I don't know about y'all, but the next man that I date has to be my husband. I'm sick and tired of dating. Like, I don't know. Like, at this point, God, I need you to send me a tracking number because I feel like it's like a lost piece of luggage. Like, he's just wandering around in other countries, other states. I don't know. And somebody forgot to put the luggage tag on there, on the bag that says belongs to Christina. What are we doing? I don't want to date another person that is not my husband, period. So now I'm at the point in dating where I'm like, oh yeah, just a couple of dates or a couple of conversations, whatever, I'm gonna know if this is my husband or not. We all know. Just like men know right away if that's gonna be their wife, women know if that's gonna be their husband. So weed them out early. Get all them questions out early. Your husband is on his way to you. And I be telling myself, my husband is on my way to me. Make sure you say that to yourself every single day. My husband is on his way to me. I'm done dating people. Like, for now, if that's not going to be my husband, cut off immediately. Gone. Okay? I don't have time.
If a woman comes into your life with this kind of energy, seriously consider walking away. Cutting a man off after just 2 conversations because he doesn't instantly match her husband checklist isn't building a relationship. It's conducting a job interview. She's upset because the dating landscape has changed. But instead of reflecting on her own expectations, she's demanding that a man prove himself from day one. Protect your peace. Keep your standards. And let her keep waiting for the perfect candidate to arrive.
Why am I 35 and still single? I feel like this is an epidemic in the world. You have so many awesome women that are just out here looking for a good partner. I cannot stand dating websites. Me and my cousin, who is about 9.5 years younger than me, downloaded Hinge on a pop the balloon night just for fun. And when I say matched with a few people, but literally deleted it within 48 hours because I just couldn't deal. Like, I need to connect with someone in person. I need to see what your vibe is. I can't just connect with you based off of surface level things or, little tidbits and facts that you're probably lying about. Yeah, I just feel like society has just taken a turn. Social media, although it's a blessing in a lot of ways, I feel like it's a curse because everybody is so accessible and nobody's willing to commit to one person or work on anything or kind of like fight through anything because, I'll just move on to the next one. Here's a woman who doesn't have her standards as high or, will turn a blind eye to certain things. And it's just not fair. It's not fair. So I know if I'm willing to be committed, loyal, dedicated, and really pour into a person, there has to be at least one other person out there that has the same morals and values. But I just don't get it.
This is what happens when someone buys into a certain narrative for too long and eventually runs into reality. She wants a loyal, committed man with strong morals. But the bigger question is, what kind of environment is she offering him? A man who has built his life around peace, stability, and purpose isn't necessarily going to chase someone who quits after 48 hours and blames men for having choices. Her frustration may not be that good men disappeared. It may be that her expectations no longer match the reality of the dating market.
Singleness can be a struggle when you are 35 plus, waiting and trusting God. And I think back to when I was around 23, 24, 25, and I thought, man, being 28, 29, 30, I would have it all together. You know, I was going to have the husband, I was going to have the home, I was going to have the flourishing, successful career. And I look at my life and I'm like, oh, baby, you did not know anything when you were 25. And 10 years later, 35, turning 36 next year or next month, I think about all that I have learned in my singleness over these years. And the one thing that I can say is, like, I feel like no one prepared us for the wait.
Notice how the message about waiting and trusting God suddenly becomes important after the years have passed. In her 20s, the focus may have been career independence and building her own life. But now at 35, the narrative becomes, no one prepared us for the wait. That can sound less like accountability and more like shifting the responsibility elsewhere. Instead of acknowledging that earlier choices helped shape the situation today, it's easier to frame the outcome as something that simply happened to her.
The past few days, I have been struggling with loneliness, specifically when it comes to being single. You know, when you have amazing friends and a great community, but there are some times, some weekends when everyone is busy and you're just left to yourself and you wish you had that one person who you could like count on, lean on, who's like always there for you, which I assume is what a boyfriend is. I don't know, I've never had one. But to combat this, there are a couple things that I usually do. One, I do cry it out. I do cry out to God. I'm like, why is this waiting season so long? Because being frustrated, especially when you're 32 years old and you've never been in a relationship, is normal and it's human, and you can trust God all you want, but it's okay to feel sad and grieve the life you thought you would have had by now. But two, a practical tip that I love to do is I write a letter to my future husband or a card. So I'm gonna head to TJ Maxx now, grab a card or some cute stationery, and then walk to the beach because I went to church in Santa Monica today. And even that, I'm like, I live in my dream city. Sure, I might not have everything I want, like a boyfriend to keep me company, but one day I am gonna be able to go to the beach and go for a romantic walk with him. But for now, I'm just gonna write to him and be like, where are you, bro?
Notice how waiting and trusting God suddenly becomes part of the conversation once the years have passed. In her 20s, the priority was career, independence, and building her own life. But now at 35, the message becomes, no one prepared us for the wait. At some point, personal choices have to be acknowledged. It's easier to blame circumstances or society, but the reality is that the decisions made earlier can shape the options available later.
Happy Thursday, all. I'm now in search of a husband. Single life sucks. Single everything sucks, other than getting to do whatever I want whenever I want, which apparently I just don't have the energy to actually do anything anymore because I'm so busy doing all the things that my partner would help me do if I had one, and I don't have one. I think people are like meant to have a pair. Like you're meant to have a person, because how the hell do you work like 60 hours a week, take care of yourself, look after your house, look after your kids, look after your dog, stay fed, do groceries, and all those kinds of things by yourself? There's not enough time. There's not enough time. So logistically speaking, I need a husband. Yeah. And one preferably that will do all the yard work, because I don't want to do it. Wasting my entire day off.
This is difficult to listen to because of how one-sided the expectations sound. She's exhausted from balancing kids, career, and the demands of her own life, and now she expects a man to step in and carry the burden for her. But the real question is, what is she offering in return? If the expectation is that he handles the hard work simply because she no longer wants to, that start to feel less like partnership and more like a transaction. And more men are recognizing that dynamic and deciding they'd rather walk away than sign up for a deal that feels completely one-sided.
I'm almost 30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. That was a video I made back in March of this year. It's now it's October and I'm turned 30 and I've still never had a boyfriend. And here's how I'm feeling about that. Truthfully, it really only ever bothers me or actually makes me feel anxious at certain times, and it's usually when I'm already feeling anxious or lonely, which is most of the time late at night. But it is always constantly in the back of my mind of like, I don't think you're ever actually gonna find someone to be with. That's genuinely one of the things that plays in the back of my head. Like, oh, you're not good enough, you're never gonna find someone to be with. Like, I have never been able to shake that feeling. But then there's like another little angel on the other corner that's like, yeah, you will, and they'll be great. And I consider myself a relatively confident person in all aspects of my life except my romantic life. Because having a lack of male attention, as much as it does not matter to the value of who you are as a person, having a lack of it, like when I say I've never had male attention beyond someone wanting to sleep with me, I am 100% serious. I don't get hit on when I go out at bars. I barely get any likes on dating apps, which is kind of interesting. Maybe I pick bad pictures, or I'm not really sure. And I'm just going to preface this by saying this is not fun for me to admit, but I feel like if even one person can relate, if I had someone make a video like this, it would make me feel better. So that's why I'm making it. But it's not fun for me to say that.
Notice how she says she never experienced genuine male attention beyond men wanting something physical. That still means men were approaching her, but apparently none of those men matched what she was looking for or met her standards. Now, as she gets older and the pressure of being alone starts to feel heavier, it's easy to describe the situation as if men completely ignored her. But there's a difference between having no options and rejecting the options you had. Sometimes the uncomfortable part is recognizing how your own filters and expectations shape the outcome.
To my single ladies, can we just talk about how some days just require a husband? Like, honestly, being like, let's just be 100, because I really don't like when women preach this whole narrative of like, I don't need a man, I'm single, I'm this, I'm that, I'm better off without a man, blah, 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 blah. Baby, that ain't me. That's not me. I desire a husband, wholeheartedly desire a husband. There are literal days where I'm just like, oh, if I had a husband, I wouldn't have to do this. Or, oh, if I had a husband. Even the littlest things of like taking out the trash, like getting gas, pumping gas, like little things like that. I don't know if everybody like thinks the same way. Obviously, we're all different, but those are the things for me where I'm just like, oh, I really wish I had a husband today. Just really, really small things. Even just like, I don't know, fixing the tea. Like, some days just require a husband. That's it. That's the post. Like, that's it.
Look at how she defines the role of a husband. Taking out the trash, pumping gas, making tea, and handling whatever small inconveniences she doesn't want to deal with. She criticizes a I don't need a man mindset, yet her idea of needing one seems to revolve around convenience and service. What's missing is any discussion of what she brings to a man's life: peace, respect, loyalty, support, or genuine partnership. And that's a pattern we've been hearing repeatedly. Some people spend their 20s prioritizing career, independence, and keeping relationships on the back burner, only to reach their 30s and realize the dating landscape didn't freeze in place. Now they are frustrated that men have their own standards, choices, and priorities that a husband shouldn't be treated like a convenience tool. Marriage is supposed to be a partnership where both people contribute, compromise, and make each other's lives better. If one side expects premium effort while offering little in return, it's no surprise that some men are choosing to walk away. Reality doesn't adjust itself to anyone's expectations. If you appreciate honest conversations like this and you're tired of the games, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments.